horrible human being. You know that? You're a horrible human being. Yeah, yeah, wait it out. Yeah, wait it out. You're a horrible human being.
What do we want?
Ceasefire!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Ceasefire!
When do we want it?
Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire!
We're outside the DNC, we're outside the Democratic Party headquarters because this party claims to be on the side of life and peace and equality, and we're saying that we want them to live up to their values and oppose this horrific war and call for a ceasefire now, and we're being responded to by the police shoving anti-war activists down the stairs, shoving peaceful protesters back with their bikes, and because our party that 80% of us want a ceasefire, would rather beat up protesters.
Hold on, keep it contained.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about the Democrat Party and how the Democrat Party is crumbling. They're falling apart. For as much as they want to talk about infighting going on in the GOP, the infighting in the Democrat Party is actually much worse. Okay, I don't think the infighting in the GOP is actually really going to affect people's votes too much, but the infighting going on in the Democrat Party, I think actually is going to have a detrimental effect on the Democrats and their chances in 2024, because I do believe that the young voters in the Democrat Party are going to abandon the Democrat Party over this issue of Israel and Palestine. And I've been telling you that, guys, this for weeks now, ever since this started, that this right here could actually be the Achilles heel of the Democrat Party. Okay, this issue, because, you know, apparently Joe Biden has not been tough enough on Israel in regards to calling for a ceasefire. In fact, these are some of the latest comments that Joe Biden has said in regards to that issue. Take a look.
War in Gaza has killed more than 11,000 Palestinians just over a month and created a humanitarian disaster. Israeli officials have said this war could take months or even years. Have you communicated to Prime Minister Netanyahu any sort of deadline or time frame for how long you are willing to support Israel in this operation? Are you comfortable with the operation going on indefinitely, and is there any deal underway to free hostages? Thank you.
Yes, no, working backwards, forward. Look, I have been deeply involved in moving on the hostage negotiation, and I don't want to get ahead of myself here because I don't know what's happened in the last 4 hours, but we've gotten great cooperation from the Qataris. I've spoken with them as well a number of times. I think the pause and that Israelis have agreed to, it's down to, well, I'm getting too much detail. I know, Mr. Secretary, I'm going to stop. But I am mildly hopeful. I'm mildly hopeful.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Biden there basically speaking gibberish, right? I'm not sure exactly what he means. Maybe he said the quiet part out loud that the Israelis have agreed to a ceasefire. I don't know if that's the case. We really don't know, right? Because Joe Biden is incoherent. So who knows exactly where this is at and whether or not this is going to happen. What I do know is that these left-wing extremists are getting more and more and more extreme and violent as this conflict continues to drag on. And like I told you guys, as long as this conflict drags on, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse for Democrats, as these violent extremists that Democrats have supported, by the way, right? They've cultivated this culture of being violent when you can't get your way politically, right? This is what they signed up for when it came to BLM, Roe v. Wade, Antifa. You guys know, right? They have now shown up to the DNC, right? They showed up to the DNC and they were rioting last night outside of the DNC over this issue in which you had police officers attacked, right? Police officers were attacked, okay, by the left-wing extremists. And again, I think that this situation is getting too out of hand, and I want to talk about it. But before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Night Watch Pro by Prepper's Peak. Night vision binoculars are the coolest pieces of tech that anybody can have, but until recently, they've just been too expensive for the average Joe. Luckily, newer models have caused prices to come way down. If you enjoy fishing, hunting, spotting wildlife, or you just want to keep an eye out for potential intruders or young scholars or criminals after dark, you'll find a good pair of night vision binoculars very useful. This is why myself and tens of thousands of others are getting Night Watch Pros. Night Watch Pros affordably allow anyone to see with predator-like vision in pitch darkness. They're highly effective for watching wildlife, scenic viewing, surveillance, patrol detection, home protection, and much more. Plus, they include high-end night vision features such as 4K video recording, a clear HD display, 5x zoom, anti-shake technology, and a long-lasting rechargeable battery. Tens of thousands of 5-star reviews back up the idea that Night Vision Pros are the best choice for night vision binoculars on the market. So this holiday season, give the gift of protection to your loved ones. Place your order for the Night Watch Pro now, and you'll receive exclusive free access to Prepper's Peak newsletter, free express shipping, and last but not least, 100% lifetime replacement guarantee. Simply go to nightwatchpro.com, use promo code Black Friday to get 25% off to take advantage of this deal before it runs out.
We came out to the DNC because a number of political representatives are gathered here tonight to, wine and dine. And we, the people, a coalition of Muslims, Jews, Palestinians, people from all over this country, old people, young people, people with disabilities. 80% of Democrats, 66% of Americans think that it is wrong what the Netanyahu government is doing right now. They believe that endless bloodletting is not the way to go, that we need an immediate ceasefire. We have over 12,000 Gazans now dead, 4,000 children, many Israelis dead, over 1,500 Israelis. It's enough with the bloodshed. And we just came here for a peaceful protest, and immediately we see something that looks more like a fascist state, honestly. A massive police presence, shoving, pushing people on the ground, tear gas, when all we want is a ceasefire. All we want is peace. We came in the name of peace, and America wants peace. So it's time for the Democratic Party to decide, are you on the side of your constituents? Are you on the side of the people of this country who believe in a ceasefire in Gaza? Or are you on the side of the warmongers? Are you on the side of the people who want to bloodlet endlessly?
Well, Les and Zoe, a much different scene now. Just within the last hour, this is cleared out. You would not know anything really had happened here outside the Democratic National Headquarters if not for the thousands of these small candles that protesters brought out here. They say those represent the lives lost in Gaza. They also told me, as you alluded to, that they picked this place at this time because they believed high-ranking Democrats were inside, and per our sources, we can confirm there was a fundraiser happening at the time. Let's show you what things were looking like here when police confronted those protesters. Here's one angle of what happened outside. This was posted by one of the groups that was behind this protest, actually here. A congressman who said he was inside at the time said on social media that protesters had all of the exits blocked and that lawmakers who were inside couldn't get outside. Protesters said they wanted the attention of the people inside because they want Democrats to put pressure on the president to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. About 150 protesters came armed with these candles that they said were 11,000 of them to represent the reported number of people killed in Gaza. The group said they also had a lot of people who have worked for the same party they were protesting.
And I thought that this party was on the side of life and on the side of all human lives being valued equally. And so we were here as the base of that party to ask the Democratic Party to stay true to those values and call for a ceasefire, and we're met with violence and repression.
Now, Capitol Police described this as a, quote, illegal and violent protest. They say one person was arrested for assaulting an officer, and they said 6 officers had minor injuries. Protesters again told me their intentions were to be peaceful, and they felt like the police response was an overreaction. Now, an Illinois Democrat, a lawmaker, one of the lawmakers inside at the time, he told us, or rather he posted online, that blocking of entrances of a building with lawmakers inside guarded by officers who had lived through January 6th was irresponsible, his words. He also said that they had to be rescued by armed officers who did not know the intent of the protesters. So very tense for a time here outside the Democratic National Headquarters. But again, Leslie and Zoe, all is cleared now with one person arrested facing charges.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, Capitol Police have confirmed that pepper spray was used against them, that some of them were hurt, they were attacked, they were injured by this mob of protesters calling for peace, right? Except these people aren't very peaceful. And it's really a damn shame that only one of them got arrested, right? I'm sick and tired of seeing left-wing extremists commit acts of violence, but then none of them are really getting arrested. They're not getting punished, okay? They're getting away with it, okay? I mean, you literally have the Democrats comparing what happened to the police officers to January 6th. The Democrats are using January 6th against their own constituents, right? Their own extremists, right? Which, again, is so crazy how this has come full circle in regards to what's going on there. But the left-wing violence is out of control. And that's my whole problem with this thing, right? Like, I don't want people to get it twisted. I don't mind people peacefully protesting for whatever issue they want to protest for, regardless of whether or not I agree or disagree with it, right? But what really gets me about the left-wing protests is that they always tend to turn out to be violent, but yet we're never having conversations about if we have a violent extremism problem coming from the left, okay? They always want to have this conversation about people on the right, but I can't think of the last time I've seen a right-wing or right-leaning protest or demonstration turn violent. I can't think of one, right? I really can't, okay? But I can think of a lot of the left-wing ones turning violent, and we never have a conversation about it, right? They never want to talk about it. Again, I don't care if you want to protest because you feel like what is happening in Gaza is wrong. I get that. I understand it, okay? I understand your argument, right? But the violence and extremism is out of control, okay? Is at the point now where you have people that are raising other countries' flags in our capital, right? And again, this is happening all over the country, okay? Where you have other people's flags being raised in a country where, again, we don't even see the American flag that often anymore, right? It seems like, people are more passionate about other countries than they are about the United States. And that is what really saddens me about a lot of these issues, right? We don't see this much passion about what's going on here in the United States than we see about what's going on overseas. And that's the crazy part. You're tearing our country apart. You are committing acts of violence and vandalism for another country. Again, I don't mind a peaceful protest, but you're getting violent, right? You're getting violent for another country. And I think hands down, that is my biggest issue with a lot of things that we're seeing, okay? Again, I've seen more of other countries' flags, whether it be Palestine, Israel, Ukraine. I've seen more of these flags than I've seen American flags, okay? And that, in my opinion, is an issue, right? We have a nationalism, patriotism issue in this country, okay? People are more passionate about other countries' issues than they are about our issues. And that doesn't just apply to some of these, radical extremists on the ground, but also the politicians, right? They will do more for other countries than they will do for the United States, okay? It makes no sense that our southern border is wide open with all types of people coming through the border. We don't know who they are. We don't know if they can be terrorists. We don't know if they are here to commit acts of violence. We know for a fact they're smuggling drugs and they're killing people, committing mass murders through smuggling drugs. We know that for a fact. But again, the politicians aren't as concerned about fixing that problem as they are about protecting other people's borders. It blows my mind, right? I mean, it's like our whole country is America last, right? Everybody cares about everywhere else except America. It's fascinating stuff. But again, what you're seeing here is a divide in the Democrat Party, right? In the sense that the Democrats coddled these people who had extremist tendencies, okay? And when it comes to certain issues that the extremists don't agree with Democrats on, they are engaging in extreme behavior because Democrats told them that it's okay. Now, what I find to be fascinating is that in this particular situation, right, you have the protesters that are talking about, well, I thought Democrats stood for life. I'm like, why would you think the Democrats stand for life? They're quite literally pro-abortion, right? Which is what you guys support, which is fascinating, okay? Because the video I played at the beginning of this video is John Fetterman literally waving an Israeli flag while walking past a protester getting arrested, right? And it's just hilarious because John Fetterman won his election. These people went out and voted for John Fetterman, who in my opinion, doesn't have the capabilities to actually be a sitting senator, but the left-wing extremists voted for him anyways because of abortion, right? Because John Fetterman supports abortion up until birth. So they voted for him to protect their rights, okay? Now these people are acting shocked that Democrats don't care about life, right? Or at least that's the way they frame it. They say Democrats don't care about life. I'm like, why are you so shocked by this? Okay, Democrats told you they didn't care about life when they told you that they were for abortion up until birth, which is what, again, these people support. Again, how can you say that, well, you know, we wish the Democrats would be pro-life when you're not even pro-life, right? You don't care about the, you know, the mass murder of babies in the womb. You don't care about that, right? So why would you think they care about the loss of innocent life going on overseas? Why do you think they care about that? Okay, because again, they show you they don't really care about innocent life in the womb. You don't either. So again, why do you expect Democrats to care? You voted for them based off them not caring about innocent life. I'm just saying, there's some cognitive dissonance here going on between the left-wing extremists that voted for the Democrats, right? There's a lot of cognitive dissonance. It's so funny how all these people now care about life so much, but these same people were anti-life when it came to this issue of abortion. And they voted for these same people that they claim to be so upset about when it comes to what's going on in Israel and Palestine. It's so fascinating. Again, the left are destroying themselves. And I do think that this issue is going to destroy the Democrat Party. The longer that it continues, the more that is going to destroy the left. But again, this is what Democrats signed up for. They signed up for this. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.